Arsenal win. It wasn't pretty, but it's 3 points in the Champions League, and that's the main thing. Going to be brutally honest. In the Champions League, some games you win, and the main thing is getting out of there with the job done. We've seen other teams so far in the Champions League. Real Madrid losing to Lille. Arsenal got the 3 points. Wasn't the most exciting game, but they bounced back from a bad result against Bournemouth, and they go again into the next game of the Champions League with another clean sheet, another 3 points, and another win at the Emirates. So far, that is 3 clean sheets in 3 games in the Champions League, and I think they've just got to keep it moving. Make sure you go down, drop a like if you haven't already. Make sure you have subscribed to the channel if you are new. The way I see it, I know there's going to be some fans today that are disappointed, and it should have been 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going to be brutally honest. Looking at that Arsenal side, look at the amount of chances they had. Gabriel Jesus, the Leandro Trossard penalty. This was the lineup they played. David Raya, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Jesus, Partey, Rice, Martinelli, Havertz, Trossard. Now the 4-4-2 seems to be the go-to formation for Arsenal in the Champions League. And, you know, so far it's worked. They've played 3 games. They've got 7 points. They have got, plus 3 goal difference. They've not conceded a goal. William Saliba, obviously starting tonight, knowing the fact that he will be out of the Liverpool game at the weekend. I'm going to be honest. I think Gabriel Jesus has got to start taking his chances. I think that's 22 games now without a goal. If Arsenal want to win major honours, if they want to compete at the highest level, if they want to win the Premier League and get to the latter stages of the Champions League, he has got to start delivering. To be honest, he didn't have a horrendous game. He didn't have a poor game. He got into the right areas once, twice in the first half. Should have bagged the goal. Thomas Partey and Rice. I thought Rice was pretty good tonight. Martinelli obviously got his goal and looked the most lively. The back four, obviously Calafiori, I believe, went off injured in the second half. I was switching in between this and the Madrid game because that was phenomenal. Ben White, of course, another good game for him. Havertz, 90 minutes again for him. And I think Arsenal will be somewhat happy. You know, it's not, like I said, you don't have to be, this Arsenal team are that good. They don't have to be at their absolute best to beat teams. And they've shown that tonight against Shakhtar. They've shown that against Spurs when they won 1-0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. This is an Arsenal team that's trying to gain experience in and around with the elites. David Raya tonight didn't have too much to do. The goal actually comes from Martinelli. Cuts on the edge of the box, that sort of range, strikes it. It's a decent strike. It hits the post, goes off the back of the goalkeeper, and goes into the back of the net. And I'll be honest, when that happened, I thought Arsenal would steamroll, grab this game by the scruff of the neck, and go and get 3, 4, or 5 goals. And maybe that's something that Mikel Arteta needs to work on, a more ruthless side to the game. You could see Leandro Trossard tonight wasn't his most confident self that we've seen in some performances before, in and around the the Champions League for Arsenal. But look, it's 3 points. They of course had the penalty, and I thought, looking at that, Leandro Trossard, I don't understand why Kai Havertz didn't take the penalty. If I'm going to be honest, I think he's a much better penalty taker than Leandro Trossard. But looking at this right now, Arsenal are, within that top 4 comfortably. They've won 7. They've got 7 points. They've won 2. They've drawn 1. They've got 3. They've already got 3 games where they haven't conceded a goal. And look how important the goal difference is. Not the best performance, but they'll come out of there with something. The game against Liverpool is absolutely huge. That, for me, is the one where we're going to find out if this Arsenal team have what it takes to win the league. Because at this moment in time, Liverpool are flying. They are doing everything right. They're winning games. They're answering every single test. Arsenal tonight, in terms of the shots on target, in terms of the match stats, they will come away. David Raya, they only faced one shot on target. If you look at the numbers, 13 shots against 9, 5 on target against 5, 56% possession. It's fairly comfortable for Arsenal. They'll come out of there, confident about the Liverpool game. Wasn't the best performance, I've stated that, but every metric, I think Arsenal were the better team. If Kai Havertz is on that penalty and Gabriel Jesus takes that chance, I think this game would have a completely different outlook, because this Arsenal side, people have got to forget, there's no Saka, there is no Odegaard. They're the two most creative players in this Arsenal side. Now, that's not an excuse for only beating Shakhtar Donetsk 1-0, because at one point, there was some nerves in the Arsenal in and around the stadium at the Emirates. You could see that Shakhtar were, somewhat getting into the game, trying to, break down the Arsenal defence, which we know is so incredibly strong. And at times, Arsenal just didn't kill the game off. Now, Sterling, Jesus, these are what I call confidence players. I think, if Jesus takes his chance tonight and actually scored that chance where he tried to go across goal, it's a fantastic save from the goalkeeper. And I don't think their goalkeeper had too bad of a night other than the own goal. Wasn't a great penalty from Leandro Trossard. You'd expect him to save that. But if Sterling or Jesus would have got a goal tonight, I think that completely changes their confidence going into that Liverpool game. The Liverpool game, of course, Arsenal will be favourites. They're away tomorrow night in Germany. Arsenal have got the extra day's rest. Arsenal have no travelling involved. It is at their stadium. They played at their stadium again tonight. It's about results at the end of the day. Man City weren't at their best. They got past Wolves. Manchester City were somewhat fortunate. I don't think Arsenal were fortunate tonight. I thought they were in complete control for the majority of that game. I just don't think they took their chances. And if you look at the match stats, 13 shots, only 5 on target, more than 140 odd passes or 130 more passes than Shakhtar. They'll be somewhat happy about that. Mikel Arteta will be looking at that right now, going, it's all about Liverpool now. One game at a time. Let's go into that. He'll be thinking, let's you'd imagine they're going to have, Bukayo Saka back for that. This is the league table as it stands. They are, as you can see, there is about 3 points separating the three teams on the right hand side. I think they go and beat Liverpool, and I think a lot of teams will be back on the Arsenal are going to win the league. Because I still think they will do it. We don't know how Manchester City are going to react in December and January without Rodri. One injury more to this Arsenal team, and they will be decimated with injuries. One big injury to that Liverpool team in the key area, and they could be decimated with injuries. I think they just need to calm down in some games, and Arteta needs to drill into these players that you can't keep getting sent off. They've already had, 3 red cards so far this season, and I still stand by my point. If they have 11 men on the pitch against Bournemouth, if they have 11 men on the pitch against Brighton, and if they have 11 men on the pitch against Manchester City, I believe they win all of those games. And that's not me making excuses for Arsenal. I think on another day, Liverpool beat Nottingham Forest comfortably, and they would have won their first 8 games. Where the one that I've got more question marks is over Manchester City, because they are winning games, but they're being bowed out by their defenders to a degree. Vardiel, Rico Lewis, John Stones, which is great because we can praise Arsenal, and I think you should be able to praise Manchester City. But other than Haaland, their forward line just isn't firing on all cylinders. And to be fair, Arsenal's forward line wasn't firing on all cylinders tonight. Jesus missed chances. Sterling missed a chance. I don't think it was Kai Havertz's best performance in an Arsenal shirt. But like I said, it's all about the 3 points. It's all about moving on to the next game. And when you look at Arsenal's Champions League fixtures they've got coming up, I think they win the next game at home, and I think they will qualify. You know, they've got a period of games now where the next 6 is absolutely huge. It's huge for Arsenal. These next 6 games. You know, you look at it, Liverpool at the weekend, then it's Preston, then it's Newcastle, then it's Inter Milan. That Inter Milan is the toughest of toughest tests for this Arsenal side. You're at the San Siro, you're at a European heavyweight, you know, 4 days later, you're away to Chelsea. It's absolutely huge, and I do think if Arsenal can get a point at Inter, and then I think their next game is Sporting, who, by the way, are firing all cylinders as well. You know, this November period is absolutely huge for them. If they can come away with 4 points against Sporting and Inter Milan, I think that's them qualified. You know, I think Sporting is going to be a massive test for them as well. Victor Gyökeres is banging in the goals like you have never seen before. He scored again tonight. They won again tonight. You know, it's not the most prettiest of results, but Arteta will not care. Those Arsenal players will not care. Get Mikel Merino up to full sharpness. Get Odegaard and Saka back in the team. You know, the fixtures are coming fast. The Liverpool up at the weekend. Liverpool will be confident about that as well because they've had a good start to the Champions League. You'd imagine they may rotate a couple of players. Arne Slot is a top coach, and he's had a fantastic start to life as Liverpool manager, winning his first 10 out of 11 games, which is just genuinely phenomenal. I'm not going to give Arsenal too much stick because a clean sheet and 3 points, that's the aim of this game, was getting out there. It's all about responding from that Bournemouth defeat, getting some confidence back in and around the team, and they'll go again. I have no doubt that Arsenal can get a positive result against Liverpool, and then it's as soon as they if they've got Bukayo Saka back against Liverpool, I think they will fancy their chances. At home, 1 day's extra rest. Liverpool, of course, playing away in Germany. You know, they're not going to be back until early hours of Thursday morning. By then, Arsenal will be rejuvenated, recovered, rested. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. We've got more Champions League tomorrow night. Vinny Jr. tonight was genuinely, he is a generational player, world class, best player in the world for me. And then, of course, Thursday Spurs are playing, and there is Conference League on with Chelsea, and Man United are playing as well. Let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you have subscribed. We are on the road to 30,000 subscribers. Last thing to kind of wrap this up. I think Arsenal should be somewhat happy with that performance. Not the best, but you've got 3 points. You got a clean sheet. You've won a Champions League game without Odegaard, without Saka. The big question mark is, can they beat this Liverpool side without no Saliba? And I did think Arsenal tonight may be going Timber. Of course, he apparently has a little bit of he's not fully fit or picking up a knock or carrying a knock, sorry. So would they play Saliba and maybe Gabriel, or do they go Gabriel and the other defender looking to try something on Sunday? It's a very interesting phase at the moment for Arsenal because the last week hasn't been fantastic for them, but if they can get past Liverpool with 3 points, I think all these Arsenal fans will be on cloud nine. Let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you have subscribed to the channel. Make sure you are smashing the like button. We will be back tomorrow for some more Champions League reaction. Thank you all for watching. I am